Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of my Let's Play series. I have my winter skin on today because it's officially December. It's been a little while since I've recorded in this series, and I'm really excited to get back to work. So let's get in it. First, I have a sponsor today, so let's go to that. This is not actually a sponsored video, but I do have merch. Look how cool it is. I have a few options available if you want to look at them. The link is down below. Here's another one. Hang on. Here is the hoodie design. I really like this. There are a bunch of options if you want to see them all. The link to the shop will be down below. All right, I'll let you get back to the video now. All right, so in the last episode, we started on this new area over here, but we still have lots of projects on this side of things that need some work. So I think today we'll shift our attention back over this way. I'm also realizing now that I must have done a lot of off-camera gathering because what? Why do I have so much? What? That's a lot of materials, Gem. When did you find time to do that? Gosh. All right, let's start by taking a little walk around the world and just seeing what needs to be worked on today. Really like this area. I do think a bridge here would be nice. Don't know if we'll work on that today, but that's a thought. We'll keep it in the back of our mind. This area could definitely use some love. There's no way for us to get to our fox sanctuary at the moment, and we need some custom trees. That would look beautiful around here. This area needs something. And it's not a burning zombie, but it's something. I don't know what. We'll keep that one in the back of my mind. The temple is looking absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I just love it in here. Wow. Oh, it's just so lovely. All right, I don't want to work on this today, but wow, really like it. I think the main area that could really use some love today is this area over here, our jungle. So I started this area over in our jungle that has a couple of little hobbit holes right down here. There's no easy way to get to it, really, and we need some custom trees, some tree houses, some above head areas, and I think today this will be the perfect project for us. First things first though, I really gotta clear some more of these leaves. And since I'm making custom trees today, I'm gonna need them anyway. May as well use this. Now comes the fun part. We need to figure out exactly where I would like to grow another tree in order to properly put a tree house in it. And I think I'd like to line one up straight with this one right here. We can go on an angle at some point, but I think it'll look nice having it right in front of this hobbit hole anyways. Also going ahead and just covering up this hole. Don't really need it here. It's kind of just in the way. And that means my tree, I think, should go right about here. That should work perfectly. Maybe we can even slightly off-center it. No, maybe not. Let's leave it like this for now. All right, now let's see if we can get a big tree. Oh my gosh, that's about the smallest tree we could have gotten. I'm not putting a tree house in that. Look at this big, glorious, beautiful trees around here in my tree. All right, let's try again. There we go. Oh, that one looks way better. Okay, heck yeah, we can work with this tree, and I think that we can work with this naturally generated tree, and maybe even this one as well, but probably not this oak tree, to be honest. It might have to come down. That is beautiful, though. Ah, I'm so glad. I know I just covered up this hole, but the zombie down here is actually driving me insane. Dude, you've got to go. Come on, I even took the time to light it up. Okay, so now the first thing that I need to do is just create the first platform, and I'm going to be doing that with some stripped dark oak because that is what we were using over there, as well as some spruce slabs, which don't actually have a lot of those. Do I have more? Okay, I have more. All right, it feels good to be up in the leaves once again. Let's just flatten out this. This looks like a great place to start the first layer, to be honest. Nice little branches here that are naturally formed. It's perfect. So all I'm gonna do is go ahead and build out from this. All right, so here is my main platform. This is perfect because we can walk around this very easily. I think we'll do some sort of like rope bridge getting up here because up in this area we have the spiral staircase and this big main circular hub, but I don't want to have that same thing everywhere. So I think down here, maybe we'll just do a regular old kind of rope ladder design. And I'm just gonna get rid of this branch right here because it's a little bit more in the way, and then we'll have a second layer maybe just under that tuft of leaves, like where this branch here is. Gonna need a lot of ladders for this project. All right, up we go. This is perfect. So I'll probably shave down these leaves a little bit once again. And yeah, this is great for the next layer. So this one's leaning this way, so I'll lean the next layer the other direction. I'll put a pillar right across here, I think. Trying to overlap these in a little bit of an organic way, if I can. It doesn't have to be perfect again, but you know, a little bit would be cool. This is beautiful. Look at the view from here. I love this treehouse already. And I think from this layer, this is the point where we'll bring a bridge over to that tree. And it's going to end up connecting to the ground. Let me just kind of pillar straight across. I'm okay with it connecting to the ground. That's okay. As long as we have a way to bridge this hill, I think that's going to be fine. We'll just somehow figure out an entrance, maybe into the hill or over the hill, to get me back over to this side of things. Let's just see exactly where this connects. Oh yeah. That's not bad. I mean, this is a bit of an awkward location, but it could have been worse. This is a pretty cool little connector. Look at this, my little tree. I gotta extend the top, but it's cool. All right, so next on the list is gonna be figuring out how we're gonna get up and down in here. And I kind of don't mind the scaffolding location, although maybe a different bridge would be better. Maybe like right in between that little notch there would be a really good location. So to make this look like a rope bridge, I'm literally gonna try and get these trapdoors to go kind of all the way up. Is this the correct location? Yeah, that looks right. Okay, and then we just flip them down, and that looks kind of correct. Now if I just, put some of these ladders. It's all coming together. That is very cool, and I like it very much. Look how thin it is compared to if that was a full block. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I've never done that before. I think somebody left a comment telling me to do that, so thank you. I think it was like a long time ago, like probably like 20 episodes ago. I'm sorry I didn't get to it sooner, but it was a really good idea. Thank you. Okay, next up, we definitely need some trapdoors for railing up there. 40 should do it for now. Much better. One more layer, and then all we need is a roof. I know I'm getting really distracted, but if you look at this hill, I've actually just had an idea of what I want to do with it. So what if we have pillars coming up and kind of supporting, just like we did here, supporting a walkway around. So it becomes this like natural area just right here that kind of comes around this way. And then at some point, we could just bring it up in a staircase. I don't know what that point is going to be. Probably like right here. Yeah, and then we can turn this into some type of garden or something to walk through. And it's got a great view of the temple. Oh, it's all coming together. Look at this. All right, next up on the list is definitely the roof. I'm going to be doing this with some slabs of the smooth sandstone variety and then some warped slabs to add a pop of color in this jungle and to match what we already did, of course. And just kind of varying this very randomly. All right, there we go. It's kind of cool. Oh, that's a mistake. I've done this style route a few times before and I'm never 100% sure what to think of it. It's just very random, but you know what? It kind of works and it makes me happy. So we're gonna go with it. And then we just go around the edge and make sure that everything is nice and filled in with some of these slabs. Again, just very randomly. Okay, but I love it. I know I haven't even seen the whole thing yet, but I already love it. Oh, would you look at it? I do love it. Oh my gosh. It really adds to this whole area, doesn't it? And look, so when we come across this pathway right here, which I haven't connected up, look how cool it looks. That's so cool. And to finish this path, what can we do with this path? Let's have a brainstorming session about this path because it's driving me a little bit nuts. Okay, so the path needs to come down one for sure. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure what to do with it. So it comes down this way, right? And then do we just do a staircase? Like, do we honestly just put a staircase in it? Or do we go underground? Like, do we tuck in right here and come out? What do we do? I don't know. Let me try that. Hang on. Just hear me out, okay? What if there was a little entrance over here? Like, what if there was just a cute little entrance into the hill right here? Like, that'd be kind of cool, right? And then you wouldn't have to walk down over here, and it wouldn't ruin the hobbit holes, but we could still get down. Yeah. Okay, and here we go. Here is our stairway, and you come out in this little hobbit hole. It's perfect, right? So we enter the hobbit hole, we'll have a nice little staircase, we come up here, and bam, we're right back at the entrance, and we can go back to living our normal life over in this side of the jungle. It's perfect. While we're in the area, I think it would be really cool to also work on a connection over to this tree over here. So I'm just gonna break this down and see if I can get a little diagonal going. Yeah, something like that would be really nice. And then all I have to do is make another platform right here. We will just have to get rid of this branch. That's no problem though, I need leaves anyways. Alright, so the treetops are looking quite a lot better. I'll admit, still probably not finished, we have some work to do, and this one doesn't even have a roof. But it's okay, because I want to focus on the ground for a little while. Something about a jungle just screams treehouse, but I don't think it's right to also neglect the ground, which is why we've started on these hobbit holes over here. But hobbit holes aren't the only thing that we need. I definitely think we could do a little bit better than just hobbit holes. So the first thing that I want to make down here is a couple of little kind of shelters, maybe areas where people would sell things down here, some lampposts, some path decorations, and then also just some banners and things kind of hanging in the area, kind of like we did over at our enchantment table. That does mean that I need some wool. I don't think I have any, so I'm going to go gather the supplies for that, and I'll be right back. I've collected some materials, and the first thing I need to do is fix up these trees. So these are not custom trees, but we can customize them ever so slightly by very simply just adding a couple of roots. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, even that should about do it. But getting this floor of the jungle looking just a little bit more jungly is going to be important, and we're going to do that with stuff other than leaves, because leaves are great. I definitely want to have lots of leaves, but that's a bit excessive. It's a lot. It's a wall of leaves. We don't want that. We want variety. So that's one. Let's also do it to this one. Even though this one is a little bit more over to the side here, I hope that eventually we'll expand this way. So may as well build it up. Honestly, that's already way better. Okay, now the next thing that I'd like to do is grab some of those oak pillars that I was using earlier, or dark oak, sorry, and we're gonna build up a little area just right over here, and it's just gonna attach to the tree, and it's gonna be slightly built up with some walls and things, and it'll have a little roof over it, and then some barrels to hold some items. And we need to sleep. This might be silly, but I get really excited for these little detailing projects. I don't do them a lot in survival. Well, I say that, I might do them more than the average person because I do play Minecraft a lot, but I just feel like I spend so long building up these types of things, these bigger structures, that doing the little details does end up being something that's just a little bit special. Next up, definitely need some campfires. Alright, so here's kind of the idea that I have for this, and then I think we'll just add some of these campfires like so. Hopefully this will look okay. We're obviously going to put these out. Ouch, 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 ouch. And then maybe some trapdoors, just to kind of connect things together. Okay, might be a little bit of a different style hut, but I kind of like it. And for now, it might even be a good place for me to just stick my bed and maybe some barrels and chests and other things. Yeah, let's just get some barrels stacked under here for storage. I'll even put my shulker boxes over here so I can build in this area and store things without having too much trouble. And you know what? Let's move this too. Oh, the mess. Okay, give me my chest back. Thank you very much. And we'll put the chest right there. Okay, that is way better. Next, it needs a little bit of light in this area. And I have some shroom lights, but I also think that I would really like to have some lanterns maybe hanging in this area. So let's craft up some of those. I'm thinking a light just maybe right tucked in here. We'll do a little wall block and just kind of build it up as we do every other light. Ooh, maybe we should do not spruce. Maybe jungle. Jungle would be better. This is definitely better already, but as a final improvement, we need a pop of color down here. Up in the treetops, we have that lovely cyan, so I've got some wool from my sheep pens, and I'm just gonna use that to create a couple of banners. You know what, 8 might be perfect. And I'm just gonna build up a little pillar right here, and then hopefully kind of drag across the banner coming from the top of this tree, or not the top, but near the top. That is perfect, and then I'm gonna use that to hang some of these shroom lights, just like so, and we'll put the banners on these. I don't know if that works entirely, but I think that orange and cyan go together really well, and it'll definitely help light up the jungle floor if I do more of those, so might go with it for now and see how I feel. Alright, few more little touches of detail, leaves put back in places where we removed so many, and hopefully this will be good for today. I feel like this is great progress. I mean, we haven't done the interiors of the hobbit holes yet, but we have our pathways going from the top and around the side up here. We have 2 more tree houses in, big rope ladder, and I really like it. Right, on to the next thing. Okay, so for the rest of this episode, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk. It's going to be almost like podcast style, and I'm just going to decorate a few areas in my world. Primarily these trees. Gosh, I said that awful weirdly. Oh, it's going to be a rough talky episode. So I'm going to be doing stuff on screen, but if you just want to listen in, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I'm just going to talk, because we haven't talked in a little while, and I feel like it'd be fun. On the day that I'm recording this, it is currently a Friday, and I have just written a final exam for chemistry. Now, I know a few of you have been waiting for this episode for quite a while because during this chemistry rotation, I haven't really been uploading this series because I really haven't had the time. And that's what I want to talk about today is how I'm kind of managing my time, how school is going right now, because I know a lot of you get frustrated when you see me upload maybe a different series like Hardcore or X-Life and not this series and then claim that I don't have time for this series, which I know that I don't have to justify myself. But I think that it would just be fun to have a little chat about it and talk about why I prioritize what I prioritize. So in school, the way that we're doing things this semester, this is my graduating year. So I have this semester that I'm doing right now, the fall semester, that is my last semester actually in a school building. And we are in a building because my class size is super duper tiny. It's less than 16 people, which means we can be in a room together by the guidelines that are here in my country, just with a mask on. And we have full PPE anyways, because we're literally working in a hospital. So it's all good on that end from me. But basically how things are run right now is it's called block. So at the moment we're doing 1 course at a time, and we do that course from start to finish for 3 weeks. And we do that for each course. So there's a rotation that is 3 weeks long of each and every course. The one that I just did was chemistry. Chemistry is really long days. It's clinical chemistry, so it's not quite the same as what you learn in high school. There's no like formulas or anything. It's mostly looking at analyzers, clicking buttons on analyzers, and doing maintenance for analyzers. And the analyzers do all the math. Kind of lame, but you know, some people really enjoy it. It's personally not my cup of tea, and I really didn't like this rotation. I found it to be really long days, and I was getting home at the end of the day and just feeling really tired, and I feel like that's okay. And when I feel tired like that, I'm not gonna pick up the microphone and sit at my computer and record, because I feel like it's gonna come across that I'm exhausted, because I am, and doesn't make for entertaining videos. So on nights like that, I usually will just either do some editing or something like that I can catch up on, or some off-camera work, like you saw when I joined this episode. Right at the beginning, I had a bunch of wood collected, and also all of my tools were mended, so I can do stuff like that off-camera, and it works perfectly fine, and I enjoy it. As for on camera though, I don't want to be fake with you guys. I don't want to be like pretending to be super excited and cheery, but I also don't want to be like tired and sad, because I feel like that's not entertaining to watch. So it's reasonable to take some time off for stuff like that. I only have 2 courses left, which means 6 weeks of rotation. So that'll be in microbiology, which is next. That's what I'm starting on Monday, and then hematology, which I'm starting in January. My course is slightly behind because of all of the shutdowns that are going on in the world, but we're only behind by 1 month, so just January, and then in February, I'm going to head out on work term, and I'm actually going to be working in a hospital. I'm still going to be uploading in this time, but I'll actually be working from my grandparents' basement. I'm going to set up a desk in their basement. They've allowed me to. I'm going to be working from home. I have to go to a rural community, so you won't see me streaming, and that's, again, why you haven't seen me streaming recently, is because I'm going to be going rural, and I won't have the internet to stream, so it's just not something that I've been focusing. I hope that that helps clear up and explain anything about my school. I'm having a lot of fun in school. It's a lot of work, but this is my last year, and I'm really excited to write those mock exams and then write the real national exam and graduate. That'll be so much fun, and it is such a privilege to be able to do this and go to school. It's just incredible, and I hope that you're all having a good time in school as well. I know that it can be a little challenging, especially this year in 2020. With everything that's going on, there's definitely a lot more on our minds, and it's a lot more stressful, but I hope that you are okay. I'm definitely thinking about all of you who have those online classes. I can't imagine how challenging that is. I have one class right now that is online, and we have to write the exam with our cameras on, and that's so stressful, and it doesn't feel right. But it's how things have to be right now, and it's hard, but we're gonna get through it. I hope you're not minding this podcast format. We're gonna head into the spruce forest now and work on a custom tree right here. I just want to see how different custom trees would work in different areas, and this area around our fox sanctuary hasn't had much love. So let's work out here for a little while. Now, the next topic that I want to talk about is Let's Plays. Okay, before I ever had run a Let's Play on this channel, or well, maybe not before ever, because that was like my first video, but before I had properly given a series a chance on this channel, I like to watch YouTubers such as like B00 or Wells Knights or gosh, I don't know, so many different Let's Play YouTubers, and I loved it when they would talk about like their channel analytics or the reason that they're making certain choices in their Let's Play, and that's kind of the topic that I want to move on to next, because as you guys know, I have recently started a hardcore world, a hardcore series on this channel, which means there are currently 3 series that I am running. X-Life being modded SMP, this series being single player vanilla, and the 3rd series being hardcore. I also have Skyblock that I am working on and off, but that series has mostly come to an end at this point. So there's 3 main ones. I also do one-off creative videos and tutorials when I can, but I haven't been able to do that recently because of everything going on with school. Anyways, I digress. I started the hardcore Let's Play, and I knew that I was going to start a hardcore Let's Play in November or October. I knew that. I knew that in June when I started this series. I sort of have this idea in my mind of how I want videos to flow on my channel, and I think it's important to have that idea and to know that because series are not forever, right? Like this series that you're watching right now is going to come to an end. I don't know when, I've never set an end date for it, but eventually a world comes to an end. You finish the projects that you want to finish, maybe a big update comes out, or maybe you just move on to season 2 and you move to a new area. That's perfectly valid too. Whatever it is, this world as we know it sort of changes a little bit and morphs. And when those changes happen, you want to still have a consistent series going. So the important thing for me is that consistency. June through now, this series has been pretty much weekly. At the very least, it has been monthly. I know I missed the last 3 weeks of this series, so I can't really say that anymore. But it's been consistent, and it's been something for my audience to come back to. And I think as a YouTuber, that's really important because you want that core audience to have a series that kind of connects us all together. And this is that series for me. I really like this. I feel like I've gotten a really good connection to all of you through this series, and I enjoy it. But as a YouTuber, you also have to focus wanting to grow. There has to be some degree of treating your YouTube channel like a business and giving it the respect that you would give a business. And a business might do this in different ways. I mean, I don't know how actual businesses do it. Maybe they get in a new product or something like that, but keep the old product so that other people who are coming back for the old product still have it, but the new product is there to attract new people. It's something like that, you know? I have this series that all of you are enjoying and I'm enjoying, and it's just really great for everybody, but I also have other series that I'm experimenting with that help me to grow a new audience and bring new people to my channel. And this is something that's really important to me, so I've been trying to stagger these new series as we go. Starting with this series in June, X-Life the Modded SMP came in August, September-ish, and then the hardcore world coming in November. Staggering these episodes once kind of helps keep things fresh on my channel. It keeps me interested in the game, and it keeps me learning things and editing things differently, and just keeps me on my toes, and it also keeps a new audience coming in and keeping my channel relatively fresh. I think that this is a really important thing for my channel. I think that I'm glad I did this, although it has been challenging definitely to run all these series. I think the consistency is important, and I think overlapping series like this is important because eventually these series come to an end and they will end in that same staggered way. So hopefully when I die in hardcore, this series will still be going and it'll continue on and it'll be consistent and I'll be able to start something new, like maybe something modded or something Skyblock or RL Craft or, you know, maybe a pocket edition series. I'll be able to start a new thing when that series ends to keep things moving and overlapping. I don't know if I would ever want to do more than 3 series, but I think that I definitely could. I mean, I'm in school right now full time. We're doing like 30 something hours a week, plus studying for finals, plus doing like all my first aid and immunizations and stuff that I need to prepare to go to the actual hospital, and all my real life stuff like buying groceries and having food. Like all of these things take time. So time management has been so incredibly important, and I feel like I've done a really good job with keeping up on videos, to be honest. I know it's not perfect. I definitely can't compete with full-time YouTubers in terms of what content I'm pumping out, but I'm doing pretty good. Last year this time, I was barely putting out one video a week. Like, barely. Now, last year, my second year of this program, it was a lot harder. It was definitely a lot harder in school, which is why I wasn't able to pump out as much content, but I'm still super proud of myself for the amount that I'm able to get done. I'm happy with how this channel is going, to be honest. And I think that there's a lot of things in this Let's Play that have contributed to me being able to kind of balance all of these things. So for these Let's Plays that I've been starting in particular, I think one key thing is that I've been starting very small. So we start with smaller builds and we build up into the fancier things. This not only keeps me interested, it keeps my audience interested. It helps attract a new audience, an audience that is maybe less experienced at the game and wouldn't want to see people do big mega builds right at the start, stuff that seems unobtainable. Just a little bit more of an accessible series when things are a bit simpler. And I've been enjoying doing that, and I think that's been nice. It's definitely been great for me in terms of making content, and I'm really happy that I did that. So starting small was a big deal. The other thing I really liked that I did was have a schedule. I don't have a schedule at the moment. It's very much just whenever I can upload, I do. But over the summer when I wasn't in school and I had a schedule, honestly, that was so much more powerful than I thought that it was going to be. It was amazing, and I would definitely love to have a schedule again, or at least something rough where my audience knew when they were going to be able to come back and get videos. I think that's important. And it doesn't have to be like, it's going to be every single Wednesday. It can just be like, here's the rough schedule of rotation that we're working with. Here's what you can expect from me. And I think that's important. Balancing expectations on YouTube can be so hard. And I think that it's so important for me to not set these massive goals for a world. Like, that's something that comes up quite often in the comments is like, when are you going to end this world? When's the world going to end? What's your final goal? Like, what are all these things? And I think not setting that, while it might drive some audience members nuts, I think it's important because it takes the pressure off a little bit and it lets the world play out like a normal Minecraft world that isn't being run by a YouTuber. And I appreciate that. Look at that tree. That tree is epic. I'm really happy with how this tree has come together. Wow, looks great in this area. Right, sorry, off topic, moving on. I think that it's important for me that I'm able to keep this series going for as long as I want it to go. And I know that that might sound dumb or might sound like common sense, but I see it all the time where YouTubers will say, this series is gonna run until this date, or until this month, or this update, or this whatever. And as soon as you set that and know that in the back of your mind, like, if I knew that this series was going to end next month, I'm going to lose motivation to work on big builds in it. I'm going to be thinking about the series that I'm going to start up after this series. And that's not fair to this series that I'm doing right now in this moment. So I would rather enjoy this world and live in it for as long as I please. And when the time comes to move on to a new series, I'll do that, and we'll have a final episode, and it'll be at a time that feels right and feels natural for the world's progression, rather than feeling very forced. So that's why I haven't been giving you guys a date or a goal or something that I'm trying to meet to end this series, because it doesn't exist. The series will end when I feel like it is ready to end. And I think that's fair. I had a comment recently that really, honestly, it got under my skin. And the comments that get under my skin the most often are not those from trolls. They're those from fans who genuinely know me and know how to get under my skin, if that makes sense. Like, it's not trolls. It's not trolls. It's frustrated fans, usually. And it's okay to be frustrated with me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a mess. But this comment in particular, it got to me because it's true. That's the only comments that are ever going to get to me, really, are the ones that are true. And the comment was saying basically how I'm lying to myself or my audience about not being able to make time to do the big creative builds that I used to do. That I obviously do have time since I'm uploading all of these series or doing stuff like playing Among Us with my friends. And they were basically stating how obviously I have time. I should have time if I'm doing all of these other things. And they're right. I mean, in life, you can literally make time and prioritize whatever you choose to prioritize. For me, in this moment, I'm not prioritizing doing the creative builds. It doesn't make sense for me at this time. They're really emotionally draining. They are not very rewarding, to be honest, in multiple ways, but mostly I got really sick of having to deal with art theft and deal with just all of the things that come along with doing creative builds. It was exhausting. I didn't like doing it. So I prioritized other things. Does that mean I can't make time for it? No. I can make time for stuff. I mean, I'm in school, but I'm not like, I don't know, it's not insane. I can make time for whatever I want to make time for. That's how I have time for YouTube. Like, I can't make time for every single thing. Like, I can't do creative builds and 3 series and tutorials and launch merch and have a Discord server and run all my social media. I can't do all of that. But I can pick and choose and prioritize what I want to prioritize. And I think that everybody has that choice to a degree. We all have certain amounts of time. Some of us have much less time than others. But with that free time that we have, we get to choose what we want to do with it. If we're in a position to be able to do that. I'm sure some people do not have that privilege. But for me personally, I'm an adult, I'm living on my own, so I do have that privilege, and it's very nice to be able to make those choices with my free time. So basically, I guess the question is, why do I make the choice? Like, why this week, when I had time to make a series or make a video? Why in the last 3 weeks did I not choose this series? Why did I choose to do hardcore? And honestly, the answer comes down to, one, motivation. When you're starting a new series, obviously that's the one you're a little bit motivated to do, but also just it makes sense from a YouTube standpoint. As soon as you upload a new series, to give that series a fighting chance at being successful, I think that the key is to be fairly consistent. And that usually means more than one upload a week in that series. At least for the first, couple weeks or even month that it exists. And that doesn't mean daily uploads, just more than one upload a week, because it's a series and you want to keep people coming back to it. If it gets in recommended, you want to take advantage of that. And so from a business standpoint, it makes sense to do that, but also from a motivational standpoint and from a time standpoint. The hardcore series right now is a lot easier to record. It takes probably 3 or 4 hours to record in hardcore because it's beginning game stuff. Whereas it takes 8 to 10 hours to record each video in vanilla and each video in X-Life as well. They're much harder videos to do. A lot more thought goes into them. Like, not necessarily in-game time, but thinking out what I'm going to do, planning the build, planning how the edit's gonna look, doing the time lapses, stuff like that is a lot more fancy, takes more time. And as you get into later game, it's obviously gonna take more time because we have bigger projects like this big pit that I'm digging out right now. And so that's kind of why I do things. I don't know if that helped or if I'm just rambling, but I felt like I wanted to have a little sit down and talk with all of you, and this was a really fun way to do that. So thank you for listening to me. If you are listening to me, I hope that you don't mind a bit of a talky episode. I launched merch, by the way. I know that I inserted that into this video. I hope that you enjoyed the merch that I launched. I definitely have a lot to learn about merch, and I'm always nervous selling things to my audience. I don't want you guys to feel pressured into buying this. I'm not gonna shove it in your face every single day, I promise. It's just something that I'm proud of that I worked on right now, and if you're interested in it, you could click below. But I also know that 2020 has been rough, so please don't feel pressure. This merch isn't going anywhere. It'll still be up after Christmas. It'll still be up for a while. There's no pressure. Honestly, there is none. But I hope that you enjoy the designs. Even if you don't plan on buying any, that's totally okay. I love the art that we did for them, and I'd love to have more in the future. If this is something that I decide to expand on, I think that'd be a really good time. So thank you so much for supporting me. And thank you for 500,000 subscribers, by the way. Don't think I ever mentioned that. That's insane. Thank you so much. Wow, this has turned into me just saying thank you on repeat, but genuinely, I appreciate you so much. You all make this possible, and I love getting to chat with all of you every day. It's so special. You're so amazing, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you didn't mind this little kind of talkier segment. I feel like I don't get to chat with all of you super often. It's not something that I do in my other series, but I feel like I have a special connection with the viewers of this series in particular, where I can talk about these things and kind of hear your feedback, or I don't know, just your thoughts, whatever you're thinking. Oh, look at that custom tree point. Oh, I do kind of like it, coming back to it. Wait, no, it's good. It's way nicer. Ah, yes, that was definitely the move. Wow. All right, sorry, distracted. But yeah, I hope you don't mind. I feel like we got a lot done in this episode anyways, regardless of me just spending some time chatting with all of you. And I hope that that makes sense in terms of what I'm doing for content right now. I hope that you don't get discouraged if you are a fan of the series and you're frustrated by me uploading maybe 3 or 4 hardcores in a row. But know that I'm still thinking about this series and I still love this series and I don't plan on ending the series. This series just is a lot more of a time commitment, and some weeks it makes more sense for me to focus on other videos. That doesn't mean that I don't love this series and that I'm not uploading the series. It just means that for the moment, we have to focus on other things. Well, alrighty everyone, I think that that is going to be all for me for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and were able to find a little bit of relaxing time in this very chaotic times to listen to me for a little while and just relax and play some Minecraft. I hope that you enjoyed it and you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the series. I appreciate every single one of you. Goodbye everyone!